Oh, so heavy. Clay balls. Yeah, you see I added a ton of clay balls. They will act as a drainage layer, as you know. And before people comment, yeah, I know that making a drainage layer out of those plastic egg crates is much cheaper and efficient. The problem is I cannot get that stuff here in Croatia. I looked for that, it would be much better for this type of enclosure, but unfortunately couldn't find it, so clay balls it is. I mean, they will work equally good, but they are much more expensive alternative than those plastic egg crates, light diffusers, whatever they are. And also I made a hole here so I can drain if there is too much water here in the actual drainage layer. And also, as you see, I added a bunch of more branches here so the chameleon can climb. They are secured with expanding foam here, and you see here and here that I once again carved and added the substrate. But I didn't record the process because it's basically the same as making the background, so no need to show you the same stuff all over again. Now I need to cut really big mesh to separate substrate from the drainage layer. I'm using this screen mesh thingy that you put on your windows so mosquitoes cannot get in. That's the best stuff, and make sure it's not metal. It needs to be like plastic. Now I don't need to be super precise because things will overlap anyway. Oh, trouble, trouble. Will there be enough? I can cut part of this. Okay, I have a bit of smaller pieces. Thank God, because I barely have enough. Okay, now we need to add the substrate, but before that, time jump. The reason for that was I didn't have a substrate for the enclosure, and regarding the substrate, that is kinda a tricky thing because, you know, in my high humidity enclosures like this for jungle nymphs, for chips, crested gecko or Caribena versicolor, manthids. In those type enclosures I use a special mix that contains out of leaf litter, orchid bark, a bit of cocoa fiber, charcoal, sphagnum moss, and that's it, I think. Yeah, so just the sheer amount of substrate that I need for this enclosure. I don't have all the ingredients for that. I will barely have enough leaf litter just to cover the top area of the enclosure. So yeah, it will be a bit problem. So for now I decided to use a mixture, the standard terrarium mixture of potting soil and cocoa fiber. And it contains a bit more cocoa fiber than potting soil, like 60-40 or 30-70, something like that. And also I had to wash the plants, and you see I split them into 1, 2, 3 separate pieces so we can spread them across the enclosure. And we will also use this ficus plant. And this plant also will go into the background. So let's add the substrate and plant the plants. And also I apologize for the mess that you have seen in the dark den. That's just the reality of building something new and big. So, substrate. Now I can just dump everything. Of course that wasn't enough, so now we will need to mix some more. This is fresh cocoa fiber. Yesterday it was one big brick and I just dumped it inside together with a lot of water, and now today you see it is a lot of substrate. Now I just need to break down all the pieces, all the bigger pieces, to make it more smoother. Okay, and now potting soil. As you see, I'm not doing a precise measuring, I just let my eye be the judge. As I said, I'm aware that this is not the ideal substrate for this situation. Therefore, with time, I will definitely change it, but we will also see how it will hold on and how all the plants will work out. But for now, there aren't any alternatives. Alright, let's now add this to the enclosure. There we go, all the substrate that I have added. We will still need like one full bucket of this, but it will be enough to plant the plants. Let's do that now. First, I want to plant this biggest plant. You see, I split the roots and cleared majority of old substrate, I mean all dirt, and also I washed the entire plant to make sure it doesn't transfer any chemicals or something like that. Hopefully that settled it. And now how to squeeze this plant. I want to put it behind, like in between of these two. There we go. The Dark Den gardening channel. Only one plant and it already looks full. Awesome, let's add other. This one is a bit smaller and I think that I will put it like, yeah, that's the spot. Ooh, so many places for chameleon to hide. I'm sure he will love it. And the smallest one, you see this one, we'll put that like somewhere here to fill that blank spot. Now the ficus, I wanted to plant it here. Hopefully there will be enough light for him here. You know, this is just a temporary light. I will get the big UVB light here and maybe some additional LED light if needed. And also the heat spot bulb will be like here. So this will be like a basking area. That's the general idea. Now we have this last plant that I have. You see, it is really messed up. Because it's so messed up, it was really cheap. So I took the advantage and hopefully it will recover and regrow. And that will go like here. I just need the substrate for this cork bark and I don't have it now. So for now I will just leave it like that. My hands are dirty. And we have one more spot to fill. Empty spot here for some plant and that will be this plant. So this will go like inside here and it will slowly grow and I can add more branches to make it a bit fuller. But for now that's the idea. So what do you say? Pretty sweet, huh? Gotta love this build, I'm enjoying it so much. Now I will play around with all the plants, make like move individual leaves and stuff. And I'll go to the store, buy more cocoa fiber bricks. So tomorrow we can continue with the substrate and the misting system. After that comes light probably in the next video because it should arrive next week. And then it is ready for the chameleon. And I already know from where and which chameleon I will get, but you will need to wait a bit for that information. So time jump, and I did a bunch of stuff. Let me show you. You see, I added these rocks and leaf litter and cork bark to make this more appealing. And now we need to add the springtails. And also I want to add some dubias inside. They will definitely help to maintain this substrate because you know they will dig around and move it around and make tunnels and such, and that always help. And you see, I cleaned the Dark Den a bit. It is still messy but not a lot. Here is the misting system. I installed the pump. Standing super straight, yeah, definitely straight. So I'll have a reservoir here, run it through the pump down here, and you see I already installed some nozzles. Then the tube is going here, it splits here, here's one nozzle, and splits down to other nozzles, then goes down here, down here, returns here, goes to this nozzle, and now I need to add the final and ending nozzle here. The way I installed the nozzles, you see, this is it, and you have this bulkhead. You unscrew this, put this through the hole and then screw it back on. It was super easy to figure it out. So I drilled a hole through the actual wood and put the nozzle here and here. And since here the wood is too thick, I couldn't just drill the hole because it wouldn't fit. So I had to do some sort of system. You see, I have this plexiglass plate that I screwed into the wood. I made a hole here so it holds. You see, really easy. And this is the other one that I will put here, like for the other nozzle. Super easy. So let's do that. Connect the tubes and connect the tubes from pump. I will definitely make an instructional video on how to connect the misting system, but since I just got it and figuring it out by myself, I think it would be dumb for me to do an instructional video now, right? But just by reading the instructions, everything is more or less clear and easy to understand. Here on top I will have a reservoir, but unfortunately I still don't have the appropriate plastic bin. You want to have the one that is not clear, because in clear reservoir, if you have water standing there, the algae can develop. Therefore it shouldn't be clear. And I need to buy one, but for now, just to test it out if everything works, I will use this. small but functional plastic box. And the way you set it up for the misting system, you have a bulkhead. Those same bulkheads that you have on nozzles. So you need to make a hole here that is the same size, and add the bulkhead, connect the pipe, the tubing, and that's it. You see? That's it. Now you put it here and connect the tubes. Perfect. Now here we will need to finish the loop there with final nozzle. There we go. Now I only need to connect it, and that's it. I have an option not to finish the tubing here, but to extend it more and connect it back to the pump. And then you install the so-called zip drip system, and from my understanding, all that it does, once the pump stops pumping, it releases that pressure so the nozzles won't drip once the pressure is going down, you know? But I won't install it now. I want to see how much of a dripping there will be. And then if I don't like the amount of dripping, I can just add it on. It's not a problem. What I super like about this system is it is really modular, and you can connect it and reconnect it however you like. You only need proper parts for it, but the possibilities are endless, I would say. Let's connect. There we go, the system is installed. Now we need to connect the power and also connect the controller and test it out. Yeah! Now, you know, I'm not a practically smart guy, but I considered myself a handyman that can figure this stuff out without much problem. So let's see if I will get this on the first try. One says output pump zip drip, and the other says input power adapter. I guess that's self-explanatory, right? So input power, connect the power, and this should go into a pump, like that. Yeah, let's add the water, and then I'll connect the power. Okay, I have a dripping problem here, but I see why is that. I need to change the approach a bit. I will add another knee so I can make a straight connection, like I assume you should do. Test number 2. This time without a leakage. Alright. Power is connected and the controller is live. I need instructions. We will see if I understand correctly. It should start in 2 minutes. Can you see everything? 3, 2, 1. Oh, we have a leakage here. Okay, but it works. We have ton of leakage. Oh my god. Everything is wet. Just a second. Ooh, and also now I remember I had to let the pump run by its own. This is so stressful to do it in the video. Be right back. Oh, I finally figured everything out. At least I think that I did. In the meantime, I had to go eat, and I also went skateboarding. And now I return here, and finally, I think I finally got it. I set everything up. I did like 4 major mistakes. I didn't let the pump run without the nozzles first to get all the air out. That was first mistake. Second mistake, on the timer, you set like current time, and then you have programs, 9 programs, where you set when you want the misting system to turn on and start misting. So one side is start time and the other side is like stop time. Since I have really awesome logic, in the stop time you set for how long you want misting to run. So for example, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, you set it up. But I thought that you need to write like the exact time when you want to turn it off. So instead, letting it run for 1 minute, I set it up to run for 12 hours and 31 minutes. So yeah, oopsie. Third mistake, you need to push the tubing like really hard. And sometimes you think that you pushed enough, but you didn't. And then you have a leakage. And you see I had leakage here and on the pump. This side was completely fine, it was bone dry. So I didn't understand why is this part leaking. Maybe because I didn't install that zip drip system. So I installed it. You see, this now goes to here and then it reconnects to the reservoir. So when the pump stops pumping, this will release all the pressure. I thought maybe it is because of that. Maybe there's too much pressure. I don't know. So I installed it and I still had leakage. So I disassemble everything and reassemble, and voila, no more leaks. So you always need to push it a bit more. If there's a leakage, you didn't push the tubing enough. And the funniest thing is how I said, I will probably figure it out. I'm not a smart guy, but I can figure this stuff out. I mean, I did figure everything out, but in the process I made a lot of mess. I made few floodings. The wooden board here split because of the water, and also here you see everything is on me. But now the system is bone dry. Let me show you how it works. Here, so you can see everything. Now it's 7:04, so I will set it up in 7:05 and it will run for 30 seconds. It should start in 20 seconds. 10 seconds, 2, 1. Voila! It works! Check it out! Sweet! Sweet, right? Yes, it was a painful experience, but it's worth it. Definitely worth it. So now, let's add the springtails and also let's add the roaches inside. And that would be everything for this video, I believe. Springtails I have here. Go, little guys. Make this enclosure work. There is a lot of them inside. This enclosure is huge, so we need a lot of them here also. Now I will bring the dubias. I want to add like 6 females, 2 males and bunch of babies. 1 female. Go, go, go. 2 females. 3 females. 4, 5, 6. And I will actually put 3 males. 1, 2, 3. And now the babies. Enjoy your new home, I'm sure you will. This is like a roach heaven for them, I believe. We will also feed them with fruits. And I will put fruits here on this rock, so hopefully I will be able to monitor how they eat. Anyway, that would be everything for this video. Next step is adding the chameleon, but first I need to go and pick him up, and I will actually drive to Germany to pick it up. Also in the same time I will pick up the bearded dragon and I will pick the leopard gecko. So that means I will be returning with 3 new reptiles. Exciting! But for that we need to finish this bad boy. Oh yes, and of course we will be adding the lights. So yeah, I will still feature this before we add the chameleon. So probably next week you can expect adding lights to this enclosure and starting with this enclosure. It is getting closer, let the hype begin. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, thumbs it up and comment something. If you want to support this channel even more, there's a Patreon page. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. I upload every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and I didn't address the doors. Next video. Bye bye.